What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to today's news roundup here on Anfield Agenda. I'm going to take you through the latest stories surrounding Liverpool Football Club, a couple of transfer ones, a couple of updates about what could have happened last summer, and a few other bits and pieces along the way. As always, we here at Anfield Agenda want to know your thoughts, so please do let us know in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, you know what to do, drop a like, but most importantly, remember to hit that subscribe button. Tomorrow, our match day coverage for the Fulham game will start from 1 p.m. Kickoff is 2 o'clock, so hopefully you can join us for that. And then after the game, I'll be straight over after a quick match reaction to top of the league, where we'll be taking you guys to the Manchester City game against Spurs, another massive game in the Premier League. But look, today we're here, of course, to talk about Liverpool, and I want to give you a couple of updates, starting with why we didn't buy a centre-back in the summer. Well, it's not going to surprise you to hear that after Jurgen Klopp has been speaking, he's admitted that the reason Liverpool didn't go in to bring in another centre-back was because of the emergence and the impressive displays of Jarell Quansah. Look, looking back on it, it seems so obvious now, right? We look back in the summer, we seen Jarell Quansah come through, and I've got to be honest, guys, I'm not the greatest at keeping up to date with the underage players, with the under 16s, 18s, and whatever. So when I seen Jarell Quansah in pre-season, I knew about him, but I didn't know how good he was. And I think we'll all agree that since then, he is a mainstay in this Liverpool first team squad, and deservedly so. You guys often call him a Virgil van Dijk regen. I can completely see where you get it from. But just a little bit of a confirmation there from Jurgen that the club were looking at it. But then, Jarell Quansah impressed, and he deserves his spot. So fair play to Quansah, and fair play to Jurgen for giving him the opportunity. The next bit of news today is from Alexis Mac Allister, and he's been speaking about how Liverpool's midfield could have looked a little bit different if Liverpool hadn't lost Fabinho and Henderson over the Saudi Pro League. So he was speaking about his coming to Liverpool Football Club and what his original plan was versus what he's now been asked to do. So he said, I feel like a team player ready to take place, Klopp tells me to. He said, at first he saw me as a right-sided midfielder, then I switched to playing as a 5, and that benefits me a lot. So he seems quite happy in the role. I don't think it's ideal, but I do understand what Jurgen's doing. I do understand the qualities of Alexis Mac Allister, but I have to admit, guys, I'm not quite convinced yet that we have found a solution to the number 6 problem. I'm very much looking forward to Stefan Bajcetic getting back, and I've got no doubts about that young man's talent. So between himself and Alexis Mac Allister, maybe dropping Gravenberch back there occasionally, can I see a world in which we don't bring in a 6? Maybe, but I still think we should. Look, Andre at 30 million, you all know the price. You all know how good of a deal it seems. I'm very confused as to why we don't make it happen, but that's my say on it. I want to hear what you guys have to say. And to finish off the video today, we're going to have 2 transfer stories. So well done to everyone that stuck around, because a lot of people probably thought there wasn't much news to speak about today, but there are a couple of transfer stories. One of them, I think it's a rehash story, to be honest with you, but the other one, a little bit more interesting, so let's get to it. The first one is about Liverpool's apparent interest in a player from Serie A, a player who we've been linked with for, it must be 5-6 years now, maybe even longer. I'm talking about Napoli's Zielinski, because believe it or not, there is a report once again from Calcio Mercato to suggest that Liverpool are interested in the 29-year-old. Now, I remember him coming through as a young lad. If I'm not mistaken, I remember seeing a picture of him when he was still in Poland in a Liverpool shirt. But these links are still there. If it was Rodgers, now it's Klopp. The links are still there. I don't get it. Look, fan of Zielinski as a footballer. I think he's done an incredible job over in Naples. I think he's probably good enough to play in the Premier League at some point, but I don't see in what world Liverpool right now need to go back in for an attacking midfielder, let alone an attacking midfielder who's heading for 30 years of age. So with all due respect to Petr Zielinski and his very good form, I don't think it's a doer for Liverpool. They mentioned that other clubs are in for him as well. AC Milan are apparently interested in him. They go on to say that Liverpool's interest has never disappeared for Zielinski. But again, this just feels like one of those stories that we see every single window. We've seen them in the past as well about Asensio. How many times was Asensio linked to Liverpool? This is one of them, it's just not going to happen. So, had to bring it to you because it was reported. But the last one, that's the most intriguing one of the lot. So bear with me while I get my notes ready. and we go through. So Christian Falk has been speaking. Christian Falk, obviously, of Build, working with Caught Offside as well, and he's been speaking about Joshua Kimmich and his potential future or lack of a future at Bayern Munich. So as we know, there's been lots of reports over the past few months about Joshua Kimmich and will he move on from Bayern and where will he go. The other day I spoke to you guys and said that I'd read an article that suggested that the likes of continuity, a real family feeling at a club, these are the type of things that are important to Joshua Kimmich. Here, Christian Falk said, Jurgen Klopp knows Kimmich's strengths, which would suit Liverpool as well. The poker for Kimmich could soon be open. So he goes on to speak about Manchester City and Pep Guardiola, who of course gave him a real opportunity when he was manager at Bayern Munich, also being a fan of his. And it got me thinking, look, I know I've just done a piece on Zielinski there where I said I wouldn't have an interest in Liverpool going back in, but if it was Joshua Kimmich, I think honestly the age thing I could push to the side. It wouldn't be ideal. It wouldn't be my number one signing for Liverpool, but I am a big fan of Joshua Kimmich, and with Thiago Alcantara's future at the club coming to an end, and it's been very disappointing there. I mean, it's been 7 months. I didn't quite realise. It's been March since Thiago Alcantara last played for Liverpool. And God knows when we're going to see him on the pitch again. So I want to know what you guys feel about this. I mean, one, do you think Joshua Kimmich could fit into this Liverpool team? Are you a fan of his? Do you think if indeed he does leave Bayern, he will maybe go elsewhere? I mean, Barcelona are a club that have been mentioned here by Christian Falk for Joshua Kimmich. Liverpool have been mentioned. Obviously, Manchester City have been mentioned. So I'd love to know what you guys think about it. Would you like to see Kimmich at Liverpool, or do you think this is a nothing story? I know this, I said this was the last one, but there was one more piece today that I wanted to just quickly bring you guys, and that was around Calvin Phillips' future. So I don't know why, but Liverpool are still being linked with a move for Calvin Phillips. Manchester City, they don't seemingly want the lad. He's not getting much football there. But the story I seen today is one that I've been teasing to you guys for a while. I think there are two likely destinations for him if he does indeed leave Manchester City. The first one is Juventus over in Italy, who need a player in that position. And the second one, Newcastle United. Problem is, will Pep Guardiola and Manchester City want to loan to a Premier League rival? I don't know. Maybe they want to put the player welfare first. I don't know. Maybe they want to protect the asset. I really haven't got a clue. But I think Juventus could be a decent shout there as well. Both clubs interested. Obviously, he's going to want to get some minutes under his belt with the Euros coming up, and that Euro draw took place today, by the way. So, obviously, as an Irishman, I've got not really much interest in it, but Scotland were drawn in a group with, I think, Germany and Hungary. England drawn in a fairly straightforward group as well. So, give me your thoughts on Calvin Phillips. Do you think that there's real truth to this? It seems to be TalkSport for me that keep pushing Liverpool and Calvin Phillips, and when I've spoken to some journalists that I know, I don't think there's much truth to Liverpool following through on this, nor do I think Manchester City would want to strengthen us. Why would they? So yeah, let me know your thoughts on it. And again, just a reminder, tomorrow we will be live from 1 p.m. right here. If you're watching this early in the evening on Saturday, why not jump over the top of the league? Myself and Adam will be taking you guys through Newcastle versus Manchester United from about 7:30 tonight. So much love to you guys. Hope you're having a great weekend, and I look forward to catching up with you all tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.